my channel. So today I am back with another brand testing video, and today I'm going to be testing Wet n Wild products. So everything that is currently sitting on my face is by Wet n Wild. So we're going to see if it's worth it or not worth it, or if they're a good drugstore brand or not. Did recently launch in the UK, finally, after so flipping long. Beauty Bay were the first brand to launch them, and then they're also now available to buy in Boots, and they're also in some Boots stores as well. So nevertheless, I'm going to show you if this brand is worth spending your coins on or not. So without further ado, we're just going to roll on to the video. Really struggling to understand why I have two random spots just chilling here and what it's come from. So I haven't worn makeup over the past like a week. So why have these just appeared now? What is going on? Okay, so as I did mention in my intro, I am going to be doing a full face using Wet n Wild products. So obviously everything that I use in this video is going to be Wet n Wild. I'm going to start off with priming my eyes because I always do my eyeshadow first. Prime my eyes, I'm going to use the Wet n Wild concealer. This is the Photo Focus concealer. I picked up the shade Light Ivory, which seems to be the lightest shade that they stock in the UK. And if I open up the box and show you at the back of my hand, you will see that this is so much darker than my skin tone. I'm kind of disappointed. I've heard so many good things about this concealer, and yeah, this just ain't gonna cut it for concealer. Nevertheless, I'm gonna cheat a little bit, so I'm gonna use this Wet n Wild concealer, but I'm going to mix it with my Revolution Conceal and Define in the shade 0, which is the white one, only because there is no way I can use this on its own. Okay, the rest, I promise, will just be Wet n Wild. Actual panic when I thought that I'd lost my flat brush that I use for concealer, but I hadn't. It was just because I'd washed my brushes and forgot that I washed them, and someone in the bathroom had moved them, so that's fun. This has got nothing on my P. Louise base. Not gonna lie, I do love my P. Louise base, but anyway. Okay, so I'm gonna zoom you in so you can actually see what I'm doing with my eyes. Hello. Next up, I'm gonna move on to eyeshadow. And for eyeshadow, I've got this Wet n Wild eyeshadow palette. This is in the shade Nude Awakening. I just thought that this was the nicest one out of all of them that was on the Beauty Bay website, so that's why I chose that one, and I don't want to break a nail. As you can see, this is a really small palette, but it's really travel friendly. So firstly, I'm going to take this shade here, and I'm just going to pack this all over my lids. Ooh! Okay, it is rather quite pigmented. Okay, so I'm just going to take a completely new blending brush, and I'm just going to blend out those edges with a clean brush, just because I feel like it's a little bit muddy. So I feel like that's kind of buggered everything up, because I didn't expect it to be that dark purple. I expected it to be maroon, but nevertheless, we're just gonna roll with it. So I'm next gonna take this shade at the top. This actually just mentioned that it is a transition shade, and I'm just gonna I'm just gonna use this to blend into the purple maroon sort of colour. Okay, I think the only thing that can save this right now is just going for it and doing a cut crease. So I'm gonna do a cut crease and just go back in with my Makeup Revolution concealer just for the sake of doing this cut crease. And I'm just gonna cut my crease only because this looks really dark and I don't want it this dark. I know I didn't use a lot from this eyeshadow palette, but I'm actually gonna save using the shimmers, and I'm gonna move on to this. This is one of their new pigments. This is especially for Christmas, and this is in the shade Carol, which is what I like because it's like Christmas Carol. Oh, okay, this is gonna go everywhere in it. It's just gonna go everywhere and kill me. So I'm just gonna dip into this pigment, and I'm just gonna pop that all over where we just put the cut crease. God, look how pretty that is. That's really not a lot of product either. Okay, so that pressed pigment is actually really pretty. I feel like I saved the eye look, you know, it wasn't going very well. It was way too dark for me, and then this pressed glitter just completely saved it. Next up, I'm gonna go in with my eyebrows, and for my eyebrows I'm gonna take this eyebrow pencil. This is the retraceable brow pencil. This is in the shade medium brown. They didn't actually have any darker colors, which scares me a little bit because obviously my brows are naturally like a black sort of shade, but it's fine, we're gonna roll with it. I don't actually normally use just brow pencils either. I prefer pomades for my eyebrows. Oh my god, okay, this is so cool. So on one end you've got your spoolie to like obviously brush your eyebrows, and then at the other end you've got the pencil in an angled sort of shape. I've never actually used an angled pencil before, so this is going to be fun. So firstly I'm going to take the spoolie side and I'm just going to brush through my eyebrows. This is actually quite a good spoolie because it's rather quite thick. Next I'm going to take the pencil and attempt to do my eyebrows with an angled pencil. Like I said, never done this before, so yeah. Okay, so I wouldn't say that this was the most easy brow product to use, mainly because it lacks pigment and it just feels like you're drawing your brows on with a crayon. Yeah, it's not my favourite brow product ever. I mean, it's not the worst in the world, but it just feels like I'm just crayoning on my eyebrows, so I'm not a fan of that. I probably won't ever use it again. It's really hard to do like the tips of your eyebrows with it, so yeah, I'm probably gonna give this one a miss. Next up, I've been using this quite a bit. This is the Wet n Wild Mega Glow Hello Halo highlighter. This is in the shade Halo Goodbye, and I've been using this a lot to put over my primer just to give my base a nice glowy, dewy finish. So I'm gonna go in with this one next. I hope it's not this that's been breaking me out, because if it is, I'll be so sad, because I really do like this as a liquid highlighter to put as my base, because I have very, very dry skin in the winter, so it's nice to have a nice dewy base going on. I'm gonna go in with the foundation that pretty much everyone raves about. This is the Photo Focus foundation. I have this in the shade Soft Ivory, and the applicator looks like this. It's like a spatula style sort of thing. I actually have done a full wear test and review on this, so if you want to watch that, it will be in the cards up here or the description bar below. So in that video I did go into full detail about this foundation, how it wore on my dry skin, etc. But I'm just gonna go in and apply this over the highlighter that we've just applied. The thing I don't like about this is you just don't get that much product on the applicator, and it literally smells like paint. The rumours are true. Take my Morphe sponge to blend this in. I actually have recently purchased this. Don't know how I feel about it yet. Still think I prefer my normal beauty blender, but I'll keep you updated. I mean, the coverage is really good. I'm not saying that the coverage isn't, but it's just not my favourite foundation in the whole world. I just feel like it goes very dry in very quickly. I feel like this is probably better on oily skin or less dry skin, because it just does not work for me. I've been using this for a good few months now, and I just still have not got used to it at all. Next, gonna go back in with my concealer. This is in the shade Light Ivory, and once again I'm gonna mix it with my Revolution Conceal and Define concealer, only because, right, if I apply this to my under eyes, you will see how bloody dark that is. Like way too dark for me on its own, and that is pretty much the lightest shade. It's the lightest shade on the website anyway. Just, it's not my favourite. I just wish that they did it in a lighter shade. It looks lighter on the website. I feel like this blend sponge is too big and too dense to actually use. Okay, so next I'm gonna powder my face, and to powder my face I'm gonna use the Wet n Wild pressed powder. This is the Photo Focus one. This is in the shade Warm Light. As you can see, I have used this a lot. I love this powder so flipping much, and that I need to set my forehead and my under eyes ASAP, otherwise it just creases bad and just looks too drying and bleh. Okay, so next up I'm gonna finish my under eyes, and I'm gonna actually take this matte black down here because I'm intrigued to see how it is. And I'm just going to take this on my under eyes to do my lower lash line. I like a good dark lower lash line sometimes, depending on how I'm feeling. All that matte black was pigmented though, as you can see. The whole eyeshadow palette was quite pigmented, to be honest, I'll give it that. Next, I'm going to take this glittery one here. This is a shimmer shade, and I'm going to take this on my inner corners. This looks absolutely stunning. stunning. I like that for inner corner highlight. That is actually really nice. That worked really, really well. Moving on, I'm going to move on to another one of my holy grail Wet n Wild products. This is the Mega Glow contouring palette. I have the shade, I think pretty sure it's the lightest shade. Let's just say it's the lightest shade because it most probably is. I have been using this for a couple of months now, and now it's pretty much all I ever use. I don't contour anymore, I just bronze, and I just use this to bronze. This is like my all-time favorite ever. It's so pigmented, it's so affordable, so I'm gonna use this to warm up my face. You've got to be careful with this though, because if you put too much on, then I mean, it's game over. Next, gonna take another Wet n Wild product that everyone raves about when they think about Wet n Wild, and that is their highlighters. I have the highlighter in the shade Pressed Petals. This is actually a really nice highlighter. It's like a pinky tone sort of highlighter. It's affordable, it's pigmented, it works well. I just don't reach for it that often because it's such a pinky toned highlighter. So as you can tell, it's a really nice highlighter. It's just very pinky tone, which puts me off because I like a silver icy toned highlighter, but nevertheless it's still pigmented and it's not too dark on me. It's just the absolute perfect shade, so it is nice. I do use it sometimes. I'm not saying I don't use it all the time, but yeah, it's just not my favourite in the world because of the shade. And next up, I'm going to move on to mascara, and for mascara I'm going to use the Lash Renegade mascara. I did use this in a testing video back in like 1972, but I'm going to use it again on this video because it's the only Wet n Wild mascara that I have. In all honesty, I don't use this mascara all the time because I have better mascaras, but it's not the worst in the world. Okay, so it did definitely do something to my lashes, but like I did mention, I have mascaras that I just prefer a lot more and that give my lashes a lot more volume, and obviously I have really short lashes, so that is pretty much an essential for me. Next, I'm going to use a product that I forgot to use. I'm going to go in with the Wet n Wild Mega Clear Brow Gel. I've actually been looking for a good brow gel, so I will let you know how I think about this brow gel in the long run, but so far it's actually made my eyebrows look more natural. Next, that Wet n Wild. I will be using that again soon, and I will keep you all updated. Then finally, I'm going to go in with my lip product, and I've been using this lip product quite a bit these past couple of weeks, and I have grown to love these lipsticks. These retail at £2.99 and they are so good. This is the shade Bare It All, and as you can see, it's just such a pretty pinky sort of nude. So I'm going to apply this to my lips. They're also really comfortable and creamy as well, which is a plus. Okay, so there we have it. This is the finished look. Overall, I've become such a fan of Wet n Wild products. Some of them in particular I did mention in this video, and I did use some of the newer ones that I've never really used before. I will definitely be using the brow gel again. I did like the pigment. The eyeshadow palette was pigmented, but I prefer more of like an out there eyeshadow palette. What I also love most about Wet n Wild is that they are also cruelty free and affordable, and they're now available to buy in the UK, finally, woohoo! If you did enjoy this video, then don't forget to smash it a big massive thumbs up, and also don't forget to hit that subscribe button. If you haven't already, make sure you do also tap that bell down below so you are notified every single time I do testing videos a little bit like this one. As always, my social media links will also be linked right down there, so if you don't follow me and you want to, then feel free to. Once again, thank you so incredibly much for watching, and hopefully I will see you on my next video. Bye!